Hello, hello. Welcome to Just Jenna. You have no idea how excited I am that you're here. I'll be sharing the wisdom, questions, and curious little truths I've gathered along the way. From brilliant thinkers to weird memes, from ancient texts to the knowing of nature. Some of what I've learned came from books, some from breakdowns, some from simply paying attention, and some from fumbling through it myself. My hope is that these stories expand you the way that they've expanded me. So maybe, just maybe, you don't have to trip over the same parts of life I did. And if you do trip and fall, it's okay. I won't tell anyone. Hello, my little chickadees, my little cutie patooties, my little cutie bears. Hi, you guys. I need to talk about something. I need to talk about something that was illuminated in my life in a big way this week, and I need to get it off my chest. I need to express myself. I need to talk to you because I think this is going to help somebody. I think this is going to help somebody because, well, I don't really know why. I'm just, you know me, I have the urge to talk on a microphone. I just can't even help myself. Yada, yada, here I go. Okay. I want to say something that might sound a little uncomfortable, a little untrue. Maybe it's going to feel true. I don't know. It just feels incredibly freeing, and I'm just going to say I'm going to get it off my chest. No one knows what they're doing. Actually, no one. And I don't mean that in like a nihilistic or like depressing way. I mean this in a very literal, grounded, human way. No one knows what they're doing. Nobody. If anyone says they know what they're doing, they're lying. It's like, no one knows. I think one of the biggest lies that we quietly believe, like we're internally believing, is that other people, especially successful people, have some kind of clarity that we don't, that they figured something out, that they know where they're going and what they're doing and how it's all supposed to work. And that belief alone creates so much anxiety, self-doubt, comparison, jealousy, and decision paralysis. And this week, that illusion fully broke up for me, and I feel like through talking about this right now, I'm going to be able to articulate myself, because once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Last week, I was on a hike with somebody, and she was expressing feelings of being stuck and comparing herself to other people, feeling jealous of other people who seem to be ahead of her in life, okay? This is not unique, okay? This isn't outing her. This is everybody and their brother has felt this way, okay? And every time she mentioned someone she was jealous of, or she mentioned someone that she looked up to or inspired her, I would ask her why. I was asking her 1,000,001 questions. At first, the answers, they were very surface level, okay? They always are. Success, confidence, career, whatever. But I kept asking her why. And it came down to the same belief. Every single person she looked up to, either everyone that she looked up to or anyone that she wanted to emulate or anyone that inspired her, it came down to the same belief that she had. She was making an assumption about these people. She told me that the reason why she looked up to these specific people was because they know what they're doing. Those are her words. Because they know what they're doing. They just know what they're doing. She thinks that these people, these successful people in her eyes, know what they're doing. She then told me that I inspire her as well. I'm one of those people that she looks up to. And I asked her why. She was like, because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And I stopped her immediately. Because no, I don't. I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. And I know that for certain. The only difference between Jenna a couple years ago and Jenna now is that I'm no longer waiting to know before I act. I don't know what I'm doing. This revelation didn't come from reading a quote or hearing a podcast. It came from, honestly, moving out to California. And now I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who I deem very successful. And when I was younger, I assumed that people that had more money than me, had cool jobs, or had a bunch of money knew something. They also knew what they were doing. My friend that I went on a hike with, she wasn't saying anything that I hadn't experienced as well. I've experienced what she's talking about, like admiring someone because it looks like they're on a mission and it looks like they know what they're doing. And the fact that she felt that way about me revealed all this bullshit illusion because I know that I don't know what I'm doing, but she thinks that I do. Therefore, I'm like, no one knows what they're doing. Anyways, but being in California, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I feel very lucky, but I have been able to be around a lot of people who are very successful. I'm talking financially here, people. And I'm like, holy shit, they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just doing it. That's the difference. They don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. I think I know where I used to get trapped. Therefore, I think I know where potentially you are getting trapped, where my friend was getting trapped, where everyone keeps getting trapped. We believe that thinking will lead us to clarity. We believe that analyzing and overthinking will make us ready. We believe that once we know, quote unquote, once we know what we're doing, then we'll act. But thinking is not participating in life. Like life demands to be participated with. You're never going to know what you're doing. And I think so many people are waiting for this like aha moment of clarity and then they'll move. I'm telling you that moment doesn't come through thinking. You don't know. You're never going to think your way into knowing what you're doing. Action is participation with life. Thinking based on assumptions that aren't even verified is not wisdom, it's stagnation. When you're assuming, and I'm only bringing this up because I just lived it, but my friend assuming that I know what I'm doing is based on an illusion. There's like a quote or something like, assuming is making an ass out of yourself or something like that. And I'm not saying that at her, but, or even like, the 4 agreements. I think it's the 3rd agreement. Like never assume you know, because as soon as you assume you know, you're stopping momentum and you're stopping yourself from taking action, because assuming you know what other people are doing, first and foremost, is complete bullshit and an illusion. And then also assuming you know and drawing a conclusion and then acting or not acting based on an assumption just don't do that. Stop it. Stop doing that. You must resist the urge. And I get it. Good God, do I get it. But most people aren't stuck because they're incapable or they don't have some skill or talent. They're stuck because they're making decisions based on stories that have never been verified. They're making these choices and decisions based on stories that they're assuming and they're creating up in their head, and it's all a bunch of hullabaloo. Period. I think as people, we confuse motion with mastery. We confuse people having money, having a cool job, all these things as like they did it. They're masters. Someone moving looks like someone who knows. Let me say that again. Someone moving looks like someone who knows. That's it. So what do you have to do to look like someone that knows? Move. Motion must come first, though. You can't just be there. You have to participate. Oh. And I want to talk about the cost of believing other people know what they're doing. There is a cost. Having this mentality, there's a cost here, people. And I was really thinking about this because I was like, what was this costing me? Because You're only motivated to change your attitude, your behavior, your awareness, your mind when you understand the cost. And so let me tell you the cost of not reframing your brain. The biggest cost is time, the most invaluable thing we have. Invaluable. Why is it invaluable? We can't create it and we can't buy it. It just is, okay? I know people love to say there's no such thing as wasted time, and I used to just be on that bandwagon, okay? There's no such thing as wasted time, yada yada, chucking up my double deuces, hippy-dippy away, but I have changed my tune. I've changed my tune because I don't believe in that anymore. I know my time is limited. I don't know how limited. That's the one thing I don't know, but I know that it is, okay? I refuse to waste my time. I refuse to waste my time. If I am cognizant of something that is actively wasting my time, I'm not going to do it. And I think thinking and believing that other people know what they're doing is a complete waste of your time because it's not real. I wasted years, probably, I don't know, making things up now. I wasted years believing I had to know what I was doing before I could start. That belief creates anxiety, self-doubt, unnecessary suffering, and none of it is required. None of it. It's all bullshit. Anyways, you waste so much time thinking that other people know what they're doing because then it makes you feel like you need to know what you're doing before you do something. No, you don't. No one knows what they're doing. Nobody at all. Realizing that no one knows what they're doing is both freeing and terrifying. And I get it. I get it. A lot of people don't even want to be the captain of their own ship. So if you are that person, you might want to stop here. But I'm speaking to the captains of their ship, okay? Because this removes this myth that successful people have some magical, unattainable quality. They don't. Once you realize this, you realize you have nothing to hide behind at all. So for some people, it makes them feel like they've just been stripped from their clothes, which I get to a certain degree, but I personally love it because I'm like, oh my God, like you guys, I'm not kidding. Successful people, they don't have something that you don't. They just do. They're just doing it. It, again, what is that? I don't know what it is. You don't know. Everyone has a different it. So just like do it. I don't know, but you have to do something. Participate with life. Look at what's in front of you. There's no roadmap. No one is going to give you this permission slip. Maybe this is a permission slip. I don't know. Maybe you needed to hear it. God only knows. But people can't give this to you every day. There's no moment where someone taps you on the shoulder and says, okay, now you're ready. Fuck no. No one is going to tell you this. No one is even thinking about you. What changed all of this for me is that I spent years learning how to regulate myself emotionally, which I 10 out of 10 recommend. It is worth all the time and effort and energy in learning how to self-regulate yourself. So uncertainty at this point doesn't really destabilize me the way that it used to. I'm very like risk adverse. I'm like, booyah, let's jump into the fire because like I'm good. I know how to breathe. I know how to ground. I know how to take care of myself. So I'm like, all of this is like, let's rock and roll. Let's move. Let's take action. I'm not scared, baby. So now I can move forward without knowing. And I don't collapse under fear because I know it's all bullshit. It's not even real. Confidence isn't knowing. Confidence is being willing to act without knowing. And I have a whole episode about confidence. Confidence is the output of action. You don't feel confident before you do something. You feel confident after you do it. I think I actually want to briefly touch on jealousy a little bit here because I do think it connects a bit. Because I don't think people are actually jealous of other people's lives. I think they're jealous of the certainty that they assume other people have. But that certainty is imagined. It's like this, it's a false god. People aren't envying reality. If you are jealous of people because you think they know what they're doing, you are envying a story that you have made up completely. You made a cage. You just made rules in a cage and you put yourself in it and you threw away the key and now you're sad and crying in your cage that you made for yourself and you can't find the key because you threw it away, okay? That story, it's going to keep you stuck in this cage. And I remember I was in this, I don't know if it was like a communication class or a psychology class, whatever, when I was in my undergrad. And I remember talking about this thing. It's called attribution error, okay? Attribution error is something in psychology. It states that we assume other people's success comes from internal clarity or competence. We assume that our own hesitation comes from personal failure. Same behavior, different story. And neurologically speaking, clarity comes after action, not before it. The brain learns by doing. You don't think your way forward, you move, and then your brain catches up. And I want to bring this up because, again, I think the most important thing in this entire whole, like, figuring out who the fuck you are and what the fuck is going on sort of song and dance about growing up and living your life is to have so much grace with yourself and realize that your brain is programmed to do this. So like NBD, if this is the first time you're realizing all of this, no big deal. It's time to learn and pivot, okay? But this is what it is. Hey, it's your brain. Everyone's brain acts like this. It's okay. But when you have awareness of it, then you can start changing rather than letting your brain just react in this like fucking pattern obsessed thing. I love brains, but come on. We've got to use it to our advantage. And then in my Kabbalah class, it talks about uncertainty, or it talks about certainty all the time. It's like why I'm so drawn, I feel like, to Kabbalah. Because in Kabbalah, certainty is not knowing the plan. Certainty is this energetic state of trusting goodness beyond logic. It's not like intellectual certainty, and it's not having the answers. It's the willingness to move without guarantees and to trust your ability to respond as life unfolds. And that's what it is, because I think modern culture has turned certainty into this fake bullshit finish line, okay? Like, once you're certain, then you're allowed to act. Then, eureka, you have made it. But again, it's bullshit. That version of certainty, and through my awareness, and I might be fucking wrong, but I just don't even think it exists, because certainty isn't a reward for living well. It's this myth that keeps people waiting, okay? I need everyone to know that, like, I'm telling you, the most successful people, they don't know. They don't know, and they're not certain. They are not certain, but they just keep doing stuff. Seriously, it's what I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff, okay? Doing it. You pivot along the way. So, if you take anything from this episode, stop asking, do I know? Start asking, what can I try? Like for the next 30 days, next week, whatever. Just start trying shit. Just try. Just start doing stuff. Not, oh, do I have this skill, this talent? No, just start doing stuff. Replace assumptions with questions. Anytime you notice yourself making an assumption about yourself, about the future, about how something's going to work out or not work out, or how this is going to go, or this conversation, you need to ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this thought? Because your brain, oh my God, your brain is just trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you safe. And I don't need to go into that whole tangent about our upbringing and all the things in our childhood, but just know it's very important to interrupt your obsessive, kind of reactive thoughts that you have all the time. Everyone does, not just you. I'm not yelling at you. I hope everyone knows this. This is all people. Just ask yourself, what evidence do I have? If there's no evidence, keep it moving and know that your brain is just doing its thing. And it is not something to be listened to in that moment. Use jealousy as data, not as a verdict. What behavior is this pointing me toward? I love it. Think of anyone you're jealous of and why. And let it inspire you. Don't let it paralyze you. Another takeaway, detach identity from outcome, for the love of God. Trying something doesn't mean committing forever, and your success doesn't mean that you're some god, and your failure doesn't mean that you're a loser. You're just a person doing things. That's it. And For the love of God, can we normalize not knowing? Say it out loud. Let it lose its power. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You don't know. I don't know. No one does. Who cares? Oh my God. No one knows what they're doing, and that's not failure. This is the invitation, baby. You don't need certainty to start. You just need the willingness to participate, and you need to show up with a good attitude and do your best. You do not need to know. You need to move, people. And the meaning will meet you there. It's going to meet you in your living, not your thinking. I love you, little chickens. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you next Tuesday.